evening and welcome to Inside Jefferson Football, your weekly look at the Jaguar football program. My name is Josh Powers. Coming up on this episode, our season finale of Inside Jefferson Football will recap the Jaguars' playoff loss to Chaska. We will catch up with a couple of the current Jaguars in our player segment, Pierce Opong and Rashawn Cage. We'll talk to a couple of the Jaguar football marching band members in our wild card segment, and then in our season finale segment, we will catch up with Coach Carlson and kind of put a bow on the regular season, as well as look at some of the key plays for the Jaguars this year. But first, the head coach joins me. 42-21 loss against Chaska, but the game was a lot closer than that throughout. We were at the Kennedy game and kind of watching the score in your Twitter feed from the football program, and you guys were in it until really the end of the third quarter. Chaska just proved to be a little bit too much.
Yeah, if you're 20 seconds late to the game, you missed two scores. So, we got off to a bad start. They returned the opening kick for a touchdown. We came right back in one play, and it's tied. And when we could have been down, kids bounced right back, and then it was just a battle. Then it was just a good football game from there, and we took a lead on them, 14-7. The turnovers, we got turnovers in the first half, didn't get them in the second half. And actually turned the ball over in the second half, which kind of helped them out. And it's the old story. You got to take care of the football and win that battle and win the field position battle. And, and to credit to them, they're a big, they have two running backs bigger than anyone on our roster. And, late third and fourth quarter, they just kind of took their ground game. We just couldn't get enough stops to get out of it.
And you guys were kind of doing it especially really all season, but even more so the last couple of weeks. And when Stan and I were covering the game with you guys in Benilde the week prior, but I mean, it was patchwork, people everywhere playing out of position with all the injuries, and you guys were able to hang in with two terrific teams the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, a credit to our kids. They never complained, they never pouted, never felt sorry for themselves. It's just, okay, how can I help? They just wanted to play and give their best. And we got a little slow start against Benilde. Would like to have started that game again, but we had a reduced playbook, short practice time, a lot of new guys from Preston Wingy going in at center, and Tyler Nelson and C.J. Hayes and Hunter Burgess playing on offense some to help out our offense, and Matt Thompson playing more on offense. It was one of those frantic things as a coach, but then you sit back and watch, and you're pretty proud of your kids at how they stepped up and performed. And just 2 points short. We'll go with it was a bad call on the coach, and a good call and going for it. We probably would have liked to have done something else, but from a fan perspective, that game is what high school football is all about.
Yeah, well, let's talk about the game against Chaska here. We've got some highlights for you guys, and you mentioned they return the opening kickoff for a touchdown. You get the ball back, and it just takes you, as you said, one play, 75 yards, and you do a little trickery for the first touchdown. Here is Manny.
Well, I told Coach Smitty I want to run this first play, and just the way it's set up, they see Manny in the slot. We run a little jet sweep with Manny, and their whole team comes flying towards Manny. That leaves Newton wide open. You can see everybody come up, linebackers come up, safeties coming up, and all of a sudden there's Newt. That ball was in the air. It seemed forever, and I was just praying that Newton started thinking, and he just reacted and caught it, and sure enough he did. And that was fun. It was a fun way to start the game, and got us right back in it. And then it's hey, here we go. We're starting all over again.
Your defense contributed with the touchdown, Coach, which is always important in the playoffs. But really, this was kind of a team effort because you guys rush the passer, you guys get a tip pass, and then you're fortunate that it goes right to Caden. But you guys worked hard.
Caden gets all the glory. Pierce and Nick Martindale do all the work. You see Pierce with his 25th, I think, quarterback pressure on the year. He had 25 QB pressures. Nick stands up, back, and knocks it down. Here comes Pierce from the left. Boom. Off of Nick's hands, and there's Caden with no one around. And we were praying he wouldn't get caught. That 10 got awfully close, but that's good team defense, and really proud of our kids. And Coach Fearing, Kyle Fearing, who runs our defense, was pumped. And we wanted the turnovers. We wanted 3 turnovers. We wanted to score on defense, and we did that. And so the kids were pretty jacked up.
You were trailing by 7 at the half. We'll get to our last highlight here, and it's not a combination that I would have envisioned myself saying at the beginning of the season. C.J. Hayes throwing to Tyler Nelson for a touchdown.
Well, this is a play that my alma mater gave us. We call it Dragon, and I think we've run this a total of about 7 times the last 4 years, and I think we've scored 6. Now people ask, well, why don't you run it all the time then? Well, you can't do that, but the old running back dragging out of the backfield, and again catching them in man coverage, coming forward, and yeah, it was a nice throw by CJ, and Tyler sitting there all alone. And so it was a great way to start the second half.
Let's talk about going out to Chaska, the experience for your team. I know you're going to have some returners, 22 seniors that we'll talk about in the final segment. But for the juniors and the players that are younger than the junior level, it was a good experience to get a taste of what the playoffs are going to be like.
Oh yeah, especially against a really good team. But the nice thing is all year, every game we played was just a good game. It's just a good high school game. We're competitive in every game. We can say if this, or if this would have happened, or but we can't. So we had a lot of younger kids they got experience all year long in some good high school football games, and then going out to a strong program like Chaska, they're just well coached, they're big, they're fast. So it's a great experience, and it's a fun experience. You never like losing, but just that atmosphere just makes it a fun night.
What were some of the things that you said to the kids after the game out in Chaska?
It's always tough, and we always bring the parents down because I want the parents to hear it. In the last 2 games, we've really focused on fighting, defining what does it mean to fight, and not quit on things, and teaching our kids that we're talking football, but it's a thing in life. You get bored in school, you get bored in the classroom. Hey, fight! You got to fight through it. If there's things you don't want to do at home, you got to fight through it, and hopefully that'll build you as a young man. So as you go on and become husbands and fathers, and it's you don't quit on things. And they really surprised me a little bit on how well they did fight those last 2 weeks.
Yeah, no doubt. And Coach, we'll have you back in the final segment. We'll kind of recap the season, and we'll count down our top 3 Jaguar plays of the season coming up in our final segment.
Sounds good.
All right, coming up next, the players segment. Stick around. Pierce Opong as well as Rashawn Cage join me on Inside Jefferson Football.
I am so proud that I served my country. I can't imagine not having Wounded Warrior Project in my life. We need Wounded Warrior Project to help us in our ongoing recovery. My family learned that they weren't in this by themselves. Wounded Warrior Project definitely saves lives. I am living proof that this organization works.
Back on Inside Jefferson Football, our season finale edition, and our final player segment of the year. Rashawn Cage, Pierce Opong, join me. Thanks, guys, for doing this.
You're welcome.
Rashawn, unfortunately, didn't get to see a lot of you on the football field this year. We saw you break a long one against Orono in game number 1, a couple of touchdowns in that game, but then unfortunately you went down with that injury that sidelined you for the rest of the year. Just talk about what that process was like in terms of getting that injury and just knowing what that meant for your senior season.
Well, once I got down, I knew my season was potentially over. So I knew in my heart that I felt like I got to encourage the other team to build them up and let them know that it's not over and they got to pursue the game.
It had to be a little bit easier, though, knowing that the guy who replaced you, at least initially, was a member of your own family. So talk about having your younger brother, Roosevelt, step into your shoes. And how did he do?
He did good. He did good. Couple mistakes, but we corrected them. I think he does need to learn further on the road. But, yeah, I loved watching him play, running people over. It was good. It was good.
Pierce, really a breakout year for you. You're only a junior this year, but just talk about how are you able to emerge as such a key difference maker even though you're not a senior yet on this team?
I think I did that because in the off season, unlike most players, like we need to get everyone in, but I was one of those players that was getting into the weight room, lifting. I was trying to encourage other players too. And then it's also not just going hard in the weight room, it's going hard on the field too. You gotta pay attention and like listen and go hard in every single drill. I think that's how I did that.
Coach mentioned that you had some 25 quarterback pressures in just 9 games. So you're getting there at least 3 times a game. What's kind of your go-to move in terms of a pass rush?
I think my go-to would have to be like slap, dip, and rip. It's usually always gets to them, and that was one where I got my best sack, I think, against Orono for my first sack ever. It was fun.
Rashawn, talk about how your style of running is different than your brother's style of running, because you two are pretty even though your brother is pretty different running styles.
Yeah, I think Roosevelt's a more power back. I'm kind of a more like elusive, more speedy back. I do tend to get out my power a little bit, but I think Roosevelt has more power, but I just have more elusiveness and more speed.
Pierce, you've got a brother that was a former Jaguar, but still playing sports in college. Talk to us about how Prince is doing down in Georgia.
Yeah, he actually went down there to play D1 lacrosse at Mercer. We actually drove him down there and sent him off pretty well, and he seemed to be doing pretty well. I've talked to him lately, and he seems to be doing pretty good.
On the record, who's the better athlete between you and Pierce?
If I say so myself, I have to give it to me. Yeah.
All right, Rashawn, just talk about what you're looking forward to coming up the rest of your senior season as you transition for some possibilities for next year too.
Right now, I'm working on getting my wrist healthy. Besides my wrist, working out, getting ready for college. Hopefully playing a running track, getting my fit up, my speed. Just getting ready for football in college.
Pierce, what about you for your junior year? I know you want to play a spring sport too. Talk about that potentially.
Well, yeah, first winter comes, and I'm definitely going to probably just work out throughout most of winter season, but in the spring, I was considering playing track, and I'd probably do sprinting and long jump, because that's what I did last year too.
There can't be many defensive linemen that are sprinters, so that's a pretty unique skill set, wouldn't you think?
Yeah. I don't know, it's pretty interesting. I'm kind of like a jack of all trades, you could say.
All right, guys, it's time to play our initials game. This is the season finale of our initials game. So what'll happen is I'm going to give an initials of a person, place, or thing. It is somehow tied to the city of Bloomington. Then I'll follow it by a list of 6 clues. Anytime you think you know the answer to what the initials stand for, buzz in by saying your name. And if you win, you get bragging rights over the other for really the rest of the school year. So here we go. The initials this week are BFB. BFB. So clue number 1. This is 1.1 miles long. Clue number 2. Located in the very far southwest corner of the city of Bloomington. Clue number 3. The Jaguar marching band played at its grand opening. Again, the initials are BFB. Clue number 4. That grand opening happened in 1996. Clue number 5. Before this was constructed, vehicles used a temporary 2-lane vehicle bridge to get across the Minnesota River. And clue number 6. This is a bridge that connects the city of Bloomington with the city of Shakopee over the Minnesota River. Again, the initials are BFB. All right, I'll give you a couple more seconds. 3, 2, 1. Unfortunately, neither. And I got feedback that this is going to be a tough one before the show. Bloomington Ferry Bridge, of course, is the bridge that connects Bloomington with Shakopee. Guys, I'm sorry. Neither of you got it correct, unfortunately, but at least no one lost this game of initials between you two. Guys, thanks a lot for being on the show. Best of luck the rest of your school year, and we'll talk to you down the line.
Thank you.
All right, coming up next, it's our Spotlight segment. We'll have 2 members of the Jaguar football marching band join us when Inside Jefferson football continues.
And now, from the South End Zone, please welcome your 2018 Jefferson High School Jaguar Marching Band. Band, take the field. The Jaguar Fight Song.
Back on Inside Jefferson Football, our season finale edition in our 5th year of this program already. And one of my favorite segments all year is when we get to talk to the band members as a former Jaguar band member myself. And we've got Emily Christensen and Tasha Peisel. Thanks for joining us, guys. Emily, why did you decide to be in the band? You're a senior this year, so not only being in the band program, you have to choose to be in the football marching band. So talk about why you decided to be in band and why you decided to be in the football marching band.
Well, I joined the football marching band in 8th grade, and I did it because my sister was in it, and my mom used to be the flag advisor. My dad used to be a part of it, so my whole family had done it. So it was just kind of natural that I joined.
And it makes me feel old because I know both of your parents, and they were a part of the band program when I was in band back then. I actually met my wife at a Jefferson football marching band. So just talk about some of the memories that you've had over your 4 years as part, or actually 5 years as part of the band program.
There's definitely a lot of memories there. I mean, we've traveled to Hawaii and we're going to LA soon, and so those are always fun trips. Every Friday night is just, there's always new memories to be made and new halftime shows to perform.
Tasha, talk about, you're a junior, right? So talk about why you decided to be a part of the football marching band.
So my mom wanted me to be on drumline, but I didn't play drums, so she made me join anyways.
What instrument do you play?
I play piccolo this year.
Just this year or all years?
In the past, I've played the flute.
Okay, so very similar to the piccolo. Piccolo's a little bit more challenging, though. You got to get a little bit higher up on the notes, right?
Yeah.
What do you like playing better, piccolo or flute?
I like playing piccolo a lot better. It's a lot easier to carry, and you can put it in your pocket.
Emily, what instrument do you play?
I play the trumpet.
And both of you are in not just the football marching band, but in the Jefferson band program. Talk about what level of the band program you're in terms of what band you're in. We'll start with you, Tasha.
So we're in the wind ensemble. It's the highest one that you can be in. You have to audition to be in it. We do a lot of fun stuff. We went to Ireland last year, so.
Do you like playing in the wind ensemble too?
Yeah, it's a very different setting. I mean, you go from playing music from in marching band to more like classical type music, like older. So it's usually a lot older too. Well,
the band has a very important event coming up this weekend, correct? We're going to take a look at some footage of the marching band indoor concert. And Jefferson is the first high school marching band that ever had an indoor concert back in the 70s when Dr. Earl Benson made that a part of the Jaguar band program. And here are you guys at the indoor concert. Hey Baby was one of my favorite songs back in the day, and I'm glad that you guys are still playing that. So there's a little bit of sampling of Hey Baby. Do you, both of you, have a favorite song that you play throughout the marching band season?
Well, this year we played a lot of really fun Western songs that I liked. But with the concert, I really like Cans On. It's one of my favorite songs to play.
Cans On is one of my favorites as well. Hey Baby's always really fun with the dancing too.
Mm-hmm. So I'll kind of end this segment by, if you have some advice for those that potentially want to be a part of the band program, and I'll start with you, Tasha, just talk about what you would say to him or her, and maybe try to convince them to join one of the better band programs in the state.
I would say just, it's a lot of fun, and you meet a lot of new people. I've met so many friends like Emily, it's just a really fun time. You meet a lot of new people, and you get to play music.
How about you, Emily?
It's just one big family, basically. Everyone's so inviting. We're all just, it's a lot of band nerds just having fun together. We do a lot of fun things as a band, and then we also do a lot of things together outside. And like you said, we make so many friends. Like all my friends are in band, so just a great thing to be a part of.
Well, it's been fun to meet both of you, and great to see the band continue the tradition every Friday at Bloomington Stadium, and best of luck to both of you throughout the year.
Thank you.
All right, coming up, the final segment of the season on Inside Jefferson Football with the head coach, Tim Carlson, when we come back.
Okay, let's set the facts straight. Almost a quarter of car crashes involve cell phones. When you text and drive, you look away at least 5 seconds. At 55 miles per hour, that's the length of a football field. Time out. It's illegal in 39 states to text and drive, but you're in danger everywhere when you don't focus. So keep your eyes on the road and arrive alive. No text, no wrecks. So don't text and drive.
Back on Inside Jefferson Football, the final segment of the year in our season finale edition. Back to join me is the head coach, Tim Carlson. Something new this year, Coach. We wanted to get to our top 3 plays of the year. Now, this was picked by me, so if I didn't pick one correctly, my apologies. I will give an honorable mention to Tyler Nelson's run at the end of the first half of the Benilde game. I had a tough one. Time deciding that one, but here let's take a look at play number 3. This was the long touchdown to Manny Montgomery that really gave you guys a cushion against Kennedy, and I know the Battle of Bloomington win was a special one for you guys.
Yeah, Manny had a great year. I think he ended up with nine touchdowns, 700 yards. So this play coming out of the half was a big one, and
you can see it's only 7-0 at that point.
Yeah, and again, it's this is the first drive, first couple of plays, if I'm not mistaken. I'm getting old memories going. Just kind of heave it and let Manny do his thing. And again, you can see he gets behind the defensive back, but he doesn't make necessarily a bad play. He's kind of right there. It's just Manny goes up and gets it and makes a nice play. And that was a big for us that game. You can see old peg leg over there running, sprints out. And again, you see the receiver trying to play the ball, but Manny's tall and has long arms and very athletic and makes a nice play.
He's a guy that I know you're going to love coming back next year for his senior season.
Yeah, we'll let him play again next year. Yeah.
Seemed like he had a decent junior season and earned some playing time.
Yeah.
Play number 2, interception return, this was a game-winning pass to Manny, not the last we've seen from him. This got you the victory at Orono. Final 90 seconds of the game, Coach, in a tie game. You guys take the lead here with a clutch touchdown.
Yeah, that was just a fun game. And what was really fun is our 8th graders, our Jefferson 8th grade team played the Orono 8th grade team right before that game. They won it on a last second on the same route and pass. So, those 8th graders came up to me afterwards and said, "That's the same play, it's the same play." And I said, "Yeah." They have a nice tall receiver, and so that was a fun night. And I tell you what, at halftime that game, our season up 21-7, our season was looking pretty good. But that was a fun game, fun night.
Then play number 1 here, Coach. Caden Osmondson made big plays for you all year, but none more bigger than this 4th down to keep the game alive with a terrific one-handed catch.
Yeah, still don't quite know how he did this, but again, CJ, look at CJ gives him the air, gives the air under the ball, gives him a chance to get it. This seemed to take forever to call.
They made the right call.
They made the right call.
Inbounds.
Yeah, and what a fun time that was. And again, wish it would have gone a little bit different at the end. But our kids were pumped. It was a great crowd that night, and it was exciting.
So as we kind of wrap the season here, Coach, just kind of talk. We always talk about the senior crew. You have 22 of them. What has this senior class meant to you? What have they meant to the program? And just some of the memories you're going to take away from this 2018 season.
Yeah, and they've heard me tell this before, but they're a unique group. As freshmen, they didn't get along real well with each other, and they were always arguing. I could hear them a field away, and I'd always go talk to them about, that's not what we do. At Jefferson, it's important for us to be successful. We need to care about each other. We need to love each other like a family and treat each other with respect. And, slowly they got it to this point where, this year they really were together. They're a great group together. They loved each other. They cared about each other. They want to see each other succeed. And that's why we had so many guys just step up all year long, because they were doing it for each other. They put the selfishness aside and did it for each other. And I'm so proud of them as growing up as young men, and can't wait to see what the future holds for all these guys, because they are all special.
All right, Coach. Well, it's been great to have another season of Inside Jefferson. I can't believe it's our 5th already.
Yeah,
but
just quickly, I want to thank you. You do a great job with this, and you and Stan with the games. It's fun, and Tom Ringdahl and Paul Fournier and Alex. I just want to thank all you guys for doing this and the great job you do for not only high school football but for the kids.
I appreciate that, Coach, and we'll see you next fall for season 6.
There we go.
2019.
My 30th year coaching.
There you go.
There you go.
That'll wrap up this season of Inside Jefferson Football for our entire crew. This is Josh Powers saying good night from our BEC-TV studios.